next factor or the next term to be studied in economics of power generation is coincidence factor. It is the ratio of peak demand on a system to the sum of peak load of its individual components. It tells how likely the individual components are peaking at the same time. The highest possible coincidence factor is 1 when all of the individual components are peaking at the same time. So mathematically we can write coincidence factor as peak demand. Peak demand means maximum demand. Peak demand on a system divided by sum of individual maximum demand. Actually, coincidence factor is reciprocal of diversity factor. So coincidence factor is 1 by df, that is coincidence factor is reciprocal of diversity factor. And you have learned how to calculate diversity factor. If you know how to calculate diversity factor, then by taking reciprocal of diversity factor, you will come to know what is coincidence factor. Next term to be studied is load diversity. It is the difference between the sum of the peaks of two or more individual loads and the peak of the combined load. Mathematically, we can write it as load diversity equal to sum of all individual loads. Written here all, you can take any number of individual loads but more than 1, 2 or more than 2 individual loads minus peak of the combined load. If at any time all loads are peak loads, then sum of all individual loads will be equal to peak of the combined load. Then load diversity becomes equal to 0. Okay. Next term to be studied is contribution factor. It is the contribution of a particular load to the group maximum demand. It means that if the group maximum demand is 100 kilowatt and at that time a particular load is operating at 20 kilowatt, then the contribution of that load is 20%. That is 20 divided by 100 into 100, which is equal to 20%. So a particular load of 20 kilowatt will have its contribution in the group maximum demand of 100 kilowatt equal to 20%. Next factor is loss factor. The ratio of the average power loss to the peak load power loss during a specified period of time is known as loss factor. Mathematically, loss factor is equal to average power loss divided by power loss at peak load. In calculation of loss factor, only copper losses are to be considered. To understand the loss factor, let us consider the graph shown here. The black graph here is losses in kilowatt at any instant in a day. The red horizontal line here is average loss in kilowatt, and the stem shown here is loss in kilowatt at peak load. So now you can easily calculate what is the loss factor. So loss factor may be now calculated as average losses in kilowatt divided by losses in kilowatt at peak load. Next term is load factor. Load factor of a plant or system is the ratio of average load to the peak load for a certain period of time. If period considered is a day, the load factor is the daily load factor. And if the period considered is 1 month, then the load factor is called monthly load factor, and so on. And so on means what? It may be yearly load factor also. Therefore, mathematically we can write load factor as the ratio of average demand to the maximum demand. Or we can also write load factor in terms of energy. Energy generated in a given period of time divided by maximum demand into hours of operation in the given period. Next term is plant capacity factor. The plant capacity factor, also known as plant factor, is the ratio of the average annual load to the power plant capacity, also called installed capacity, during a given period. Mathematically, plant capacity factor is equal to average annual load divided by plant rated capacity, and is also equal to energy produced in a year divided by plant rated capacity into 8760. 8760 is number of hours in a year. So plant rated capacity into 8760 will be the energy generated by the plant when it is operating at its rated capacity throughout the year. If energy produced in a year becomes equal to the energy generated by the plant when the plant is operating at its rated capacity, then the plant capacity factor will be equal to 1. The maximum value of plant capacity factor can be unity when the plant is operating at its rated capacity throughout the year. The plant capacity factor may also be calculated as maximum demand by plant capacity into load factor. Next term is plant use factor. It is the ratio of actual energy produced to the product of plant capacity and time in hours of the plant operation. Mathematically, plant use factor is equal to actual energy produced divided by plant capacity into plant operation time in hours. The two important observations can be made saying that ideal condition for cheap electric supply exists when first one, the installed capacity and hence the corresponding capital cost of the generating plant is kept low. This can be obtained by good diversity factor and second one is by making generator to generate every day large amount of energy. The daily output of each generator unit is large. Which means load factor is good. So by these 2 points we understand that by keeping diversity factor and load factor higher, we can generate electricity at lower cost. Next term is utilization factor. It is defined as the ratio of maximum demand to the rated capacity. Of plant. Thus, utilization factor is equal to maximum load by rated capacity. By the definition of plant capacity factor, we can write plant capacity factor equal to load factor into utilization factor. Next terms are reserves. A spinning reserve. It is that generating capacity which is connected to the bus and ready to take load. B. Cold reserve. It is that reserve generating capacity which is available for service but not in operation. C. Hot reserve. It is that reserve generating capacity which is in operation but not in service. D. Firm power. It is the power intended to be always available even under emergency conditions. Next is reserve margin. It is the difference between rated capacity and actual loading on the generator. Now let us say in a generating station there are two generators with a capacity of 100 megawatt each, and say these two generators are meant for supplying the loads shown here. Now this common conductor is called as bus, and the bus will be always at a constant voltage. It will be operating at constant voltage. So at the bus, the two generators may be connected in parallel, and also the loads may be connected in parallel. Now here generator 1 is not working and it is not connected to the bus. You can see here switch is open, whereas generator 2 is connected to the bus and its capacity is 100 megawatt. Now if loads are connected, then generator 2 will take the load up to 100 megawatt. So the generator 2's capacity, that is 100 megawatt, is called as spinning reserve. Spinning reserve means the generator is in operation, its rotor is rotating. It may be hydroelectric power plant, it may be thermal power plant, nuclear power plant, or any other type of power plant. Because of the turbine, its rotor will be made to rotate and it will be ready to take load if connected. So now in this case the spinning reserve is 100 megawatt. Now if you take the capacity of generator G1, that is 100 megawatt, it is not kept in operation. Say its rotor is not rotating at all. The turbine to which generator G1 is connected, say that is at rest. So now the capacity of generator G1, which is 100 megawatt, is called as cold reserve. It is called as cold reserve. Now let us consider another system wherein 125 megawatt generator is kept in operation, but it is not connected to the bus. So even if you close the load switches here, the load will not be supplied at all because generator is not connected to the bus bar. But what is the operating condition of generator? The generator is in operation. Because it is in operation, 125 megawatt is called as hot reserve. It is called as hot reserve. Next, to understand what is firm power, let us consider there is a fault, and because of that fault all generators, all transmission lines are out of operation. So such a condition we call as blackout condition. But for the security purpose, our defense forces should always be getting power. So there has to be some guaranteed amount of power which will be generated all the time, even during emergency conditions. So that power which will be always available is called as firm power. Next, reserve margin. It is the difference between rated capacity and actual loading on the generator. Let us say we are having a generator connected to the bus bar. Its capacity is 100 megawatt and the load connected to it is 60 megawatt only. The load connected is only 60 megawatt. That means this generator is not operating at its rated capacity. It is only supplying 60 megawatt. That means it is only producing 60 megawatt of power. Therefore, reserve margin is 100 megawatt minus 60 megawatt, that is equal to 40 megawatt. In next class we will solve some problems based on economics of power generation. Thank you.